Yes, this is post-battle legacy. So we're going to see a battle every 5 seconds on stream today. Seed of the Synod to start the game for David. And a Lotus Petal. And an Emery the Mind Sculptor. Otawara, Chalice, Mox Opal, and Thought Monitor. Retro Frame should have been brown into the trash.
Swat, you shall have
Wait, what's that?
Force of Fill fetches a very beautiful Tundra.
I kind of want to play that.
The Bowlers, thanks for the resub with Prime. 16 months. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm going to keep this and put this one on the top. Perfect.
There's a Saga for David.
I'm going to target Chalice on the board? Yep. Play Chalice on one?
Yep. That's good.
Casting a Chalice from the graveyard. X is 1, so a Chalice with 1 charge counter on the table. And blue-white controlled decks these days can remove Chalice with cards like Prismatic Ending, so we'll see if Phil... Staff of the Storyteller. We were just talking about Staff of the Storyteller, everybody. Oh, what is this these tokens out of control. That's a 1/1 Spirit, everybody.
So I'll take Force of Will.
Yep.
Fetch. I'm going to play Cabal Ritual and Doomsday, so...
Okay.
Saga ticks up to 2 for David. Emery getting activated again. I guess we're seeing Mox Opal. Yep, there's Mox Opal.
That's fine.
Scalding Tarn comes in. Have I seen the Atraxa with Yu-Gi-Oh art? I don't even know what you're talking about, so I guess I haven't seen it. Post-battle, pre-Lord of the Rings Legacy is really gaining steam. Yeah. People are going to remember this time period 10 years from now and say, can we go back to it and just have the format be that? All right, a construct created by David, a beautiful foil token as well. Balu, thanks for the sub with Prime. Looks like a first-time sub. Thank you. Appreciate that. Making another construct as there's a Saga on the verge of popping here. There it goes. What will David dig up? What will David get here? Will it be Needle for the staff? That'll be interesting. Shadow Spear. Okay. You see? Not even worried about Staff of the Storyteller. Didn't even needle it. David took one look at the Staff of the Storyteller and said, you know what? I'm not impressed.
Whatever you want. I'm into
Just going to get an equipment.
Which one you had on top? All right, there we go. Cut.
I have blue floating.
All right, so David not respecting the Staff of the Storyteller. If there is a needle in the main, which I assume there is. It's usually in the main of 8cast, right? But we'll see if that backfires. Thought Monitor getting cast from the yard. Staff of the Storyteller getting activated. Phil drawing a card. It looked like it was a basic island. And dress down in response to the Thought Monitor.
So it's not foregone conclusion that that's what I'll be doing.
That's good. I'll drop.
Oh, you did it? Oh.
That'll blow up the 2 constructs. When they lose their abilities, they lose their +1/+1s, and they die.
Should have dice to put on this.
I tried
It's more
really
for the
hard
camera.
not to play.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
again
I mean,
this
there's no
week.
dice on it now.
Just take
but-
a
The power level is just too. It's just too good.
I had other stuff to do today. I didn't have.
Okay.
I had to. This was already put together, and that makes a big difference.
All right, passing the turn. Dress down goes away. Spirit token gets flying back. And let's see what Phil has.
But I don't know if I should get like just 5 more.
Has to fight through a Chalice on 1. Removing Emery would be nice.
I'm gonna hit sleeve and sleeve. And
Prismatic Ending on Chalice on the stack. All right, Chalice is gone. Success.
like my sleeves eventually get worn, and then
Right, yeah,
you want to
one
replace them
that's-
anyway.
yeah.
If the bulk of the deck is the same.
Passing the turn.
Tell which one it is.
Well, Staff of the Storyteller still hasn't replaced the counter that's on it. No other tokens for Phil just yet. Thoughtcast on the stack. Brainstorm and response. Is this an opportunity to remove Emery? Did we just see a swords get drawn? Could be an opportunity with priority here.
Dave Kaplan.
Thoughtcast is good.
Yeah, totally good.
Oh, letting Thoughtcast resolve. Maybe that was a prismatic ending that was drawn, actually. Could be a little hard to recognize some of these altered cards, but I think that's a prismatic ending in hand. It looks like there's also a Swords to Plowshares in Phil's hand, but letting Emery live for now. Maybe Sai is a bigger threat, or potentially Kappa Cannoneer. With one more land, Phil could pay for the ward cost. We'll see. There's only a Lotus Petal in the yard right now. Pithing Needle getting cast.
Okay.
Stuff.
Very powerful.
And we get back to this spell.
All right, I didn't hear what was named with Needle, but I guess it was Staff of the Storyteller. Another Chalice on 1 just hit the stack. Spell Snare. All right, confirmation that it was naming Staff. I just maybe didn't hear it.
Staff incentivizes some weird things.
So you do.
All right, Triumph of St. Catherine off the top. It gets cast, and it resolves. Attacking with a Spirit.
Does that have flying?
It does not.
5/5 life here?
It's just a 5/5 life linger and then it has the death trigger.
Yeah. Or it's like you exile the top 6 or something.
You
and
shuffle
you
it back in.
yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yes, it is.
All right, Triumph of St. Catherine deployed to the table. Emery's still alive. Phil letting Emery live on.
Go ahead.
Not prioritizing removing Emery, which okay, here's Sai, which is also a threat that Phil will definitely want to remove sooner than later. Urza's Bauble. In response, swords it. Okay, so Phil was holding off on removing Emery, but as soon as Sai hits the table and makes a Thopter, it's removed immediately. Maybe next turn, Prismatic Ending could potentially get used on this Emery. Or maybe Phil's just going to let Emery rock and do its thing. Mishra's Bauble. Chalice of the Void now gets targeted by Emery. And paying 2 life, it looks like it's on its way back to the table.
Crack those both for blue. Play grief.
cracking Scalding Tarn in response. Getting a Mystic Sanctuary.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see.
I'm gonna put swords on top.
Okay, it sounds like Phil puts swords back on top. Okay, so despite a Chalice on 1, swords getting put back on top. No white mana open currently, just a Volcanic and a Mystic Sanctuary. So Chalice will resolve. We know Phil, I think Phil has a Prismatic Ending in hand.
Brainstorm? I'll take 100.
Brainstorm revealed in Phil's hand by Urza's Bauble. Another Urza's Bauble will do the same thing.
Brainstorm prismatic.
Brainstorm and Prismatic Ending are now known cards for David.
Well, I know what it is. I'll just pop it to the card.
Go ahead.
You don't have to. I have
And
one.
then
Okay.
Okay, setting up a couple of draws on Phil's upkeep with Baubles. Attacking with Thought Monitor.
press that. Draw 3.
I'll attempt prismatic ending the chalice.
Prismatic Ending on Chalice. Resolves, so it's exiled. Emery cannot get it back this time.
Just get in there for 6.
Attacking with Triumph of St. Catherine and the Spirit that was created by Staff of the Storyteller earlier in this game. Staff of the Storyteller so far has drawn 1 card and is currently shut off by Pithing Needle. All right, a Thopter will trade with the Spirit. Tim Dead Inside, thank you for the bits. Appreciate that. I believe that's a new badge for Tim Dead Inside. Tim will be presenting some new badges possibly in the chat. Thank you, Tim. It's a new latest cheer.
I'll have to turn off this.
Land for turn and pass of basic planes for Phil. Versus Bauble. And it will reveal Spell Pierce. Okay. So not going to catch anybody with that Spell Pierce. It's now known. Activating Emery.
Sure.
Play Issues Bubble.
Mushroom's Bauble.
And put Shadow Spear in the Thought Monitor. Swing.
Okay, Shadow Spear has now finally equipped itself to something. This time it's Thought Monitor.
Press her.
Holding it back. Drawing cards from the baubles now.
4-4 right now?
It's a 3/3.
Oh, 3 this. Okay. I'm getting in.
I will choke.
Yep.
So you gain 5, I gain 3.
Okay, Thought Monitor chumping Triumph of St. Catherine. Possibly setting up another cast of Thought Monitor from the graveyard with Emery. Draw some cards, get another blocker. Looks like the top card was another Spell Pierce, if I'm not mistaken.
The set 16? You said 14.
Play some stuff that I
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
seen
you're
you
right.
play.
Target Thought Monitor.
Yes.
I saw the 4. On instant.
Yep.
There's the Saga comes in for David. That's going to be pretty good. And now casting the Thought Monitor from the graveyard as expected. It'll resolve. And David will draw 2. Mishra's Bauble. Lotus Petal. Bubble the top card. Equip Thought Monitor once again. All right, so Thought Monitor could block again, put itself back into the graveyard. David could recast it with Emery next turn. Could be a nice little engine. Force of Phil has a Swords of Plowshares in hand. So we'll see how much longer Phil wants to put up with this. Still holding off on removing Emery, which has gotten David a good amount of value so far. Prismatic ending now on Emery.
Force still targeting the
Phil has been holding on to removal spells for, it seems like, for either Sai or maybe Kappa Cannoneer. Emery could have been removed way earlier in this game, but Phil let it stick around. But as soon as Sai hit the board, it was removed immediately. So it gives you an idea of Phil's priorities in this matchup. Emery's good to live, but Sai needs to be removed on site. Here's another Sai. We know Phil has a Swords. Let's see if he reacts the same way as last time.
Max Opal trigger.
Max Opal's on the stack.
Same exact thing once again. So this is Phil's approach to the matchup, I guess. Forge pitching Emery in response to the Swords, Spell Pierce now on the stack. David can, of course, pay for it using Ancient Tomb, paying 2 life, and a second Spell Pierce. Okay. So that one can only be paid for by sacking a Petal, it looks like. Or is that other Mox? So the Mox Opal that's untapped is the one that's on the stack. I think that's why there are 2 Mox Opals on the table right now. So that Mox Opal is not available.
I'll cast the turn and then on your upkeep as a trigger.
Thinking about the second Lotus Petal. Second Spell Pierce. Can pay for it sacking Lotus Petal. Spell Pierces are on Force of Will. One of the Spell Pierces that's on the stack is actually gone. It's been paid for. All right, so both Spell Pierces have now been paid for. Mox Opal will resolve. Sai will make a Thopter. That was on the stack the whole time.
to make 2 squirrel tokens.
Okay.
+2.
And another Emery. Force of Will, Mox Opal, Kappa Cannoneer, and Mishra's Bauble now dumped into the graveyard by David. Another Mox Opal comes in, Thopter token, number 2.
Go to 4.
Pass.
Terminus or bust coming in from the chat. Yeah, it's not looking good for Phil right now. Triumph of Catherine is nice, but I don't know how much longer Phil could just put up a fight with only Triumph of Catherine.
That's the thing with Makana. I do.
1 card in hand.
Oh, did I take the 2
Yeah, I
and
can
tap
play
the
him, he
focus?
kills you.
You could, right?
You could, yeah, if I rolled the,
Okay, I think maybe David forgot to pay 2 life when Ancient Tomb was tapped last turn, and that's what they updated right now. I don't remember if it was paid for before. Whoa, somebody just knocked the camera. All right, so here's the Saga Pops here. It also made a construct.
I can't see the back. It's not active. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is.
former Hype Train conductor Adam pointing out that staff looks kind of weak without any token generators. Yeah, it's needled right now, and Phil hasn't made another token, so it's looking not very good at the moment.
Once you draw force, you play that as well as you could have, because then I die to
Not the best
press down or something.
showing for staff of the storyteller in this game.
I had force in. I don't know if you played.
And honestly, so far this game is only reinforcing my skepticism about the card. It has not looked very good.
And really, the first Oracle was a bait because I knew you had.
Okay, Emery gets activated here,
Yeah. Which is a surprise. I think.
targeting Mishra's Bauble.
Where's this cavernous hole? And then I saw it.
I didn't have the force to roll that game.
I think it's to make sure I don't have like the wasteland on here.
Well, the Thopter comes in from Sai.
Mana is not in any way.
We might be seeing a Kappa Cannoneer.
I have time.
Good cast.
That's pretty clutch with all those.
There's Kappa Cannoneer. You can cast from hand. Hard cast force. All right, Phil had a decent draw. With Emery on the table, it's not the most exciting. Shadow Spear equipping to the construct, which is brand new,
Yeah, I'm still
and attacking for 2.
still figuring out the list. Seems like everyone's getting a little bit of a different spin on it.
It just goes so many different ways.
Yeah, I usually copy Anzi only because he has so much content. It's easy for me to watch how he plays the deck and then.
What's this card called again? The Raven's Warning. It's a saga from Kaldheim.
It's like EI decks, EI version.
I'll get the text up on the screen.
It's just not much has changed in that.
Yeah, it's a bird, and I gain 2 life.
Chapter 1, you create a 1/1 blue bird and gain 2 life.
I'm just trying to test out all those like not on MTGO cards, which is really just now.
Harry Houdini is here. What's up, Harry?
I tried Aboleth Spawn for a little bit. He's from Conspiracy, and it stops ETB triggers. So when someone has an ETB trigger, I get it. I get to copy it. Sticks up to 2. It's shit, right? It's bad.
Needle is on staff for the storyteller, but it finally got a counter after the Raven's Warning created a token. Buds, thanks for the sub with Prime. 7 months for Buds. Appreciate that.
It's like I get it and my
And Roland, thanks for the resub. 36 months for Roland. It never came up in the chat, I don't think.
oh, I can take the initiative.
Oh, it did, and I missed it. Oh, no. Sorry, Roland.
Yeah, now I do.
Thank you, Roland. And Roland with a 3-year badge now as well.
I kept like stacking on top.
Thank you, Roland. How did I miss that? That's a shame. I missed Roland's 3-year anniversary resub, everybody. Should we just end the stream now? Harry Houdini, thank you for the gift sub. Appreciate that. That's 30 now on the channel for Harry Houdini. And I better learn that a hype train is close.
Advantage was
What's up?
Did I do something wrong?
No. I was just reading text on it.
Because you're still playing.
All right, so 16 permanents are on the board for David here, and we're still fighting on. Chalice on 1 getting cast.
Yeah.
And that's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Although it's mana cost is actually what?
Legacy or is the
Same thing.
That's exactly what's happening last week. I was gaining so much life. I was just feeling so much off the top.
You can just activate some library over and over.
That's the one?
Last week, I think I still went home for
All right, Thopter's getting created. Chalice on 1 resolved. Lotus Petal. That triggers Sai. Triggers Kappa Cannoneer. Now it looks like we're going to attacks.
I don't know. I considered building Team Orient for like tonight. It feels like I'm always missing 13, 14. One thing.
15, right?
It feels like there's a ton of room because you could jam any night.
All right, attacking for 15 with a construct. No big deal. Also has lifelink. And I don't even think Staff of the Storyteller can get Phil out of this one. Going up to Chapter 2 of the Raven's Warning. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player this turn, look at that player's hand and draw a card.
That's what I want to see. That's like a top deck. So We'll see.
Yeah. Got that in reserve. It's always can. You can have that in reserve.
Yeah.
Sleeve it up.
Yeah.
Triumph of St. Catherine. Cast from hand. No miracle. And another construct getting created leads to Phil scooping here. So we're going to game 2. 8 cast up a game.
Last time we played, I ran a meltdown right into a chalice.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Go ahead.
All right, both players kept 7 once again. Island pass for Phil. So we saw Phil prioritize Sai in game 1, Chalice on 1 on the stack, with the removal spells. And the question I guess I have for Twitch chat and for the YouTube commenters, did Phil let Emery live for too long? What do you think about that, chat? Did Phil allow Emery to get too much value in that game 1? Or do you agree with the plays? All right, force pitching Kappa Cannoneer. Hype Train has just began as Tim Dead Inside gifted a sub. Thank you, Tim. That's 2 now on the channel for Tim Dead Inside. Appreciate that. Oh, that reminds me. We hit our Twitch goal on the last stream because of it blocked something that we needed to see in the game. So our sub goal is back in the bottom right of your screen, everybody. Are you excited? So Force of Will protected the Chalice of the Void. It pitched a Kappa Cannoneer. Savine's Reclamation is on the stack, targeting this Flooded Strand, and it comes back. So kind of ramping there is Phil. That was a little fancy.
A Framing Inspector. Makes a clue.
Yeah.
Ancient Tomb for David. Want to take a quick moment to thank a new YouTube member, Justin. Hit the join button on our YouTube channel. Thank you, Justin. If you're watching this later on YouTube, hit the join button below. Become a member. Appreciate that.
Play, I gain a life, and I immediately sacrifice it and search for Plains Islands.
Okay.
And it comes into play tapped. So, really crappy.
All right, here's Sai Master Thopterus. We saw how quickly Phil removed it in game 1. No Thopters have been created yet. Saga is ticked up to 2. And a Brainstorm was just played as a land. All right, so Jace the Mind Sculptor comes down.
If you're not playing Spotted Hawk, if you're playing Spotted Hawk, you put your already searched for Spotted Hawk on top of your deck with Brainstorm and then search them and draw 5.
Yeah, okay. You're good.
Pass back to you.
So then actually in that case,
Sai Master Thopterus. Still alive here. 2 cards go back after a Jace the Mind Sculptor Brainstorm, and Phil passes the turn. David creates a construct on end step.
Scoured Bear. Good job. 23.
Another construct gets created. Chalice on 1, stopping the card named Swords to Plowshares for now. I don't see any removal spells in Phil's hand, but it's very hard to see the hand right now.
It has 3 different modes. The one that I'm going to use here is...
Getting little glimpses of it here and there. We know there's a Brainstorm in there, which cannot be cast currently. Well, it could be cast, but it's not going to go very well.
For obvious reasons. Go ahead.
Get countered by Chalice. Attacking Jace. Jace down. All right, no Thopters yet. Didn't swing with Sai, no. Thought cast on the stack. Seems fine to swing with Sai there. Just missed it, I guess. Lotus Petal. All right, Sai finally creates a Thopter and now passing the turn. Triumph of St. Catherine comes back.
Like a spirited companion. Eldritch Visionary.
Okay.
It looks like Phil has a wear tear in hand. Casting wear or tear or whatever and removing the chalice. Which one is it, everybody? Is it wear or is it tear? I don't know. Who cares?
Go ahead.
End of your turn. I'm gonna crack.
Okay.
I know. Where's the red one? All right. Brainstorm on the stack. It'll resolve this time. Chalice has been removed. I see a Swords to Plowshares in Phil's hand now. I see it. Does Phil have a white mana is the question. It's a Caracas. Passing the turn. I'll let Sai stick around. All right, no bounce of Sai.
I'll search for basic.
Land for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixes right now are the constructs.
I'm going to pay for life and snap out the initiative. Nine, 13.
Yep. Name Crocus.
Did David miss a trigger to make a Thopter there? I think so.
I'm going to try to get the mirror out.
I think that Thopter was already there, right?
Force will on this one.
It's funny, like lines I don't know the rarity, so it's all like
Attacking with a 7/7 construct.
Alright.
Phil needs a meltdown badly.
I go into the Forge. No. Top and bottom.
All right, here's Staff of the Storyteller, which didn't do a whole lot in game one. Creates a spirit.
what happened?
Supposed to go into the move through the Undercity during your upkeep, not during.
Oh,
But I already drew my card. So
Caracas was named by the needle. Staff of the Storyteller has been activated. Mystic Sanctuary. Putting Wear Tear on top, it looks like.
pass it down again.
And passing the turn. These are some big constructs. They were 7/7 as of the last turn. Sai can come back down. Potentially. Looks like Phil has 2 cards in hand.
Yep.
This is Canadian.
oh, I don't get to look for this one. Wait, do I get to look for this one? Oh no. Oh, whoops. Well,
Just melon.
Okay, attacking with the 2 7/7s.
Another popper aficionado over here.
I've thought scoured in my day.
Swords to Plowshares on 1.
I played Modern a lot. I played it a lot more. Back in the 4 times.
What was it in
Force pitching Sai. So Sai thrown out here. Chartwin has just gifted 5 subs. Thank you, Chartwin. Appreciate that. Hello, Chartwin. Thank you, thank you. Amazing.
yeah, take the snuff out.
Yes.
Another, sorry, so that must have been a backup Sai. Here's another Sai. Phil was unsuccessful in protecting against Force of Will.
I did not have a
Triumph of St. Catherine attacking now.
draw.
I'm going to wear my staff.
Okay, Phil shattering the staff. Okay. And then flashing back Savine's Reclamation to bring back the staff and a Flooded Strand. Okay. Staff creates a token. Gets a counter on itself as well.
Saga?
Yep.
One card left in Phil's hand, it looks like. Constructs are still alive.
Hit a skeleton. Which I also don't have.
That's all.
Unbelievable. That's what it is.
So it's 2, 4, 6, 7.
Someone just walked by with a lot of pollen on it.
Yeah, I'll chump and I'll take
Had a
one.
lot of pollen on it.
Jump and take one. Force of Phil is here in the chat. I think staff is bad without at least 12 token makers in the deck. Declares Force of Phil.
Is it 1/2 to 1/2? Or 1/2?
1, 2, yeah.
I'm going to start the play.
This is a block for 1/2.
Go to 11.
I'm in the yours a second.
What about?
All right. Alpine Moon will blow up Urza Saga.
3/4 flyer. You, when it enters the battlefield, you lose 3.
Oh, so that's an uncommon? Or that's a...
It was printed at common. Okay. Yeah, I know the symbols like throw you off 3 times.
All right. Triumph of St. Catherine dies. Sty's trigger is resolving. Phil gains some life.
Now it's not good enough to be a common, right? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. End of turn.
Pass your
Passing the turn. Phil has no blockers. I think more than enough power on the board, especially after that Seed of the Synod gets played.
That's the other. That's the namesake of the deck.
Oh, no.
See the combo?
No, it's like it's fine. I mean, it's just dramatic food. Generally, you just see so many cards. Like,
All right, Phil fetching. With attackers in the red zone. Sidorna says, remember when Lingering Souls was a legacy staple? Yeah. Yeah. Source of Plowshares goes back on top with Mystic Sanctuary. Swords gets drawn with the staff. And a construct is removed successfully. I think life totals are correct.
Well, I might have had a 5/5.
All right. Nice draw. Triumph of St. Catherine off the top.
ability to just like clear my little piddly blockers. You can
One card down?
Pauper is slower, so it doesn't seem as ridiculous.
especially with these 5 mana ones, yeah.
All right. Jump blocking with Triumph of St. Catherine once again. It'll get shuffled into the top 7 cards of the deck. Phil will gain the life. Pass the turn. Found it again. Okay.
And it's got a couple of +1/+.
Not too bad.
How long? Wait, how long does it actually? Until end of.
There's his ball will trigger Mycothopter.
Yeah, this is a pretty overwhelming advantage here.
Game 4 total?
Go to my turn.
All right. Gaining 4. Triumph goes back into the top. Tundra is the card revealed in hand by Urza's Bauble. If Phil rips this Triumph of St. Catherine again, I'm going to be surprised. Nope, not this time.
This is as a 4/1 with Menace.
This time it's a Raven.
Phil gained 4 life. I think that wasn't updated on the life counter, unfortunately. All right, Phil's going to scoop it up though. Construct was quite big, and yeah.